Welcome to the deep dive. We're all about getting you up to speed on complex stuff fast.
Making it digestible.
Exactly. And today we're tackling annuities. Maybe you've got a meeting, maybe you're just trying to get a handle on this area of finance, or maybe you're just curious.
Whatever the reason, we're here to help.
Our mission today is to unpack annuities, drawing from a detailed source, actually, a full chapter on the topic. We want to cut through the jargon.
Yeah, slice through the overwhelm and pull out the key stuff. We've dug into the material for you.
And hopefully uncover some, aha moments.
Like how annuities and life insurance are kind of polar opposites, or the details on taxes, the good and the, well, potentially less good.
Okay, let's jump right in then. At its core, what is an annuity?
Right. So simply put, it's a stream of payments, like regular payments over time. Legally speaking, it's an insurance contract.
Insurance, okay.
Yeah, specifically designed to protect you from outliving your income. And here's the key thing. Only life insurance companies sell them.
Only life insurers, that's specific. And you mentioned it's the opposite of life insurance. That sounds counterintuitive. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. Life insurance is there to create an estate, right? A financial benefit when you pass away.
Okay, yeah, for beneficiaries.
Annuities do the reverse. They liquidate an estate, distributing your assets over time while you're still here.
Ah, okay. Life insurance pays out later, annuities pay out now, or, well, during your lifetime.
Precisely. Life insurance looks after others later. Annuities look after you now and, down the road.
That clears it up nicely. So how do they work mechanically? The stages, the people involved?
Okay, generally two main phases. First, there's the pay-in or accumulation period. That's when money goes into the annuity.
Building it up.
Right. Then second, you have the payout or annuitization period. That's when the income payments actually start coming out to you.
Got it. And who are the key players?
You've got the contract owner, that's usually the person funding it, holding the rights. Then the annuitant, the person whose life the payments are based on, and who receives them. Often the same person as the owner, but not always.
Okay.
And finally, the beneficiary. They'd get any remaining value if, say, the owner dies before annuitization.
Right, the
Okay.
safety net. Now taxes, always a big one. How do annuities stack up?
This is a major draw. The growth inside the annuity during that accumulation phase is tax deferred.
Meaning you don't pay taxes on the gains each year.
Exactly. Not until you take the money out. And this applies whether it's a qualified annuity, part of a retirement plan like a 401k, maybe funded with pre-tax money, or a non-qualified one, which you fund with money you've already paid taxes on. The earnings still grow tax deferred in both cases.
So, qualified or non-qualified, the growth is sheltered for a while. That's significant.
It really is. And another key advantage, especially with life insurers, is that potential for guaranteed income for life.
That's the big promise, right? Income you can't outlive.
That's the core idea. It's a level of security other investments might not offer. But it's also important to know about potential penalties if you pull money out too early, before a certain age or contract period.
Surrender charges or tax penalties.
Could be both, though there are usually exceptions, like for death or disability, things like that.
Okay, basics covered. Purpose, mechanics, taxes, lifetime income potential. Now, our source material breaks them down further. Let's talk about how you pay for them, funding options.
Right. Two main ways you can fund an annuity. You either pay in a single lump sum, or you make periodic payments over time.
Let's take the single payment first. Single premium annuities.
Okay, so like the name says, you fund it with one payment up front. Could be a large sum.
Right.
Now, the income from this can start almost right away, often within 30 days. That's called a single premium immediate annuity, or SPIA.
SPAA, immediate income.
Or you could set the income to start later, maybe years down the line. That's a single premium deferred annuity, SPDA.
Deferred, okay.
And generally, with these single premium types, once you've made that initial payment, that's it. No more deposits into that contract usually.
Gotcha. One and done. So what about the other type? Periodic premiums.
Right. So periodic premium annuities mean you make multiple payments, maybe over several years.
Building it up gradually.
Exactly. And these can be split further. You might have level premium annuities where you pay the same amount each time, say annually.
Consistent payments.
Or, and this is quite common, you have flexible premium annuities, often called flexible premium deferred annuities, or FPDAs.
Flexible.
Meaning you have more leeway in how much you pay in each time, and maybe even how often, as long as you meet any minimums the contract requires.
Okay, so FTDAs offer more adaptability.
Yeah, and obviously the income you eventually get from an FPDA will reflect how much you manage to contribute and how it grew over time.
Makes sense. Pay more in, potentially get more out. Now, what about when the benefits start? Immediate versus deferred. We touched on this, but let's nail it down.
Sure. So immediate annuities, like that SPIA we mentioned, are always bought with a single premium. And the key is income starts fast, usually within a month or so. There's really no accumulation period to speak of.
Right, for income needs now. And deferred.
Deferred annuities have that distinct accumulation phase. Could be years, even decades, between when you start funding it and when you actually start receiving income.
Okay.
These can be funded either with a single premium, the SPDA, or those periodic premiums like the FPDA. The main goal here is usually long-term, tax-deferred growth, often for retirement.
And when you eventually want the money from a deferred annuity, what are the options?
Good question. You typically have a few choices. You could take it all as a lump sum, but be aware all the accumulated interest becomes taxable then.
Right, potentially a big tax hit.
Could be. Or you could set up systematic withdrawals, take out smaller amounts over time.
Okay.
Or the classic route, you annuitize. You convert that built-up value into that guaranteed stream of income payments.
Okay, that clarifies the timing. Now, let's shift to where the income actually comes from. The engine driving the payments. Fixed versus variable annuities. What's the difference?
This is a really fundamental split. A fixed annuity offers a guaranteed income. The insurance company takes on the investment risk.
So the insurer guarantees the payout amount.
Yes, the income you get is predictable, stable. It's usually backed by the insurer's general account, which typically holds safer, more conservative investments like bonds. Security and predictability, that's the name of the game with fixed annuities.
Predictability, safety,
Okay,
and variable annuities. Sounds like less predictable.
that's right. With variable annuities, the contract owner, that's you, takes on the investment risk. Your premiums go into what's called a separate account.
Separate account.
Yeah, it holds various investment options, often similar to mutual funds, called sub-accounts. You usually get to choose how to allocate your money among these different sub-accounts, stocks, bonds, international, etc.
Based on your own goals and risk tolerance.
Exactly. And the income you eventually receive isn't fixed. It goes up or down depending on how well those investments you chose perform.
So potential for higher returns if the market does well.
Yes, but also the risk of lower returns, or even loss of principal in some scenarios if the market performs poorly.
Okay, higher potential reward, higher potential risk. Makes sense.
And because of that investment component, people selling variable annuities need more than just an insurance license. They also need a securities license from FINRA.
FINRA, right, the financial industry regulator.
Yeah. Variable annuities are often seen as a way to potentially combat inflation over the long haul, since market returns might outpace fixed interest rates.
How does the mechanism work? I think I read about units.
Ah, yes. During the accumulation phase, your money buys accumulation units. Think of them like shares in the sub-accounts. Their value fluctuates. Then, when you decide to annuitize, to start taking income, those accumulation units are converted into annuity units. The number of annuity units you get is fixed at that point, but the value of each annuity unit still fluctuates with the market performance, which determines your income payment amount.
So the number of units is set, but their value changes, affecting your payout.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, speaking of payouts, how do you actually get the money, the settlement options?
Right, the payout phase. Annuities use mortality tables, like life insurance, but they factor in something called a survivorship factor.
Survivorship.
Yeah, it basically looks at average life expectancies. Because the goal is often income for life, the longer people like you are expected to live, the smaller each individual payment might be for the same pot of money. It's spreading it out potentially longer.
Makes sense. What are the main payout choices?
Several options. The most basic is the straight life or pure life annuity.
Pure life.
Yeah, highest potential payout amount per check. Why? Because payments last only for your lifetime. When you pass away, payments stop. Period. Nothing goes to beneficiaries.
So you maximize your own income, but leave nothing behind from the annuity itself.
Exactly. It's a trade-off. Then there's the annuity certain or period certain.
Okay, what's that?
This guarantees payments for a fixed number of years, say 10 or 20 years. If you live longer, payments continue. But if you die before that period ends, the payments continue to your beneficiary until the end of that guaranteed period.
So a safety net for a set time.
Right. And you can combine these ideas, a straight life, with period certain.
Best of both worlds.
Kind of. It pays you for life, but it also guarantees payments for a minimum period, say 10 years. So if you die in year 5, your beneficiary gets payments for the remaining 5 years. If you live 30 years, you get paid for 30 years.
Okay. Lifetime income plus a minimum guaranteed payout period. What about getting your principal back? I think I saw refund options mentioned.
Yes, life with refund. This guarantees that, one way or another, at least the total amount you paid in premiums will be paid out.
How does that work?
Two main ways. Installment refund means if you die before getting all your principal back, your beneficiary continues to receive the same income payments until the total paid out equals your premiums.
Okay.
Cash refund means if you die early, your beneficiary gets the remaining principal back in a single lump sum. Less income per check than straight life, but ensures the principal is returned.
Got it. Ensures the pot isn't lost if you die early. Annuities can also cover more than one person, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have the standard individual or single life annuity covering one person.
Makes sense.
Then there's a joint life annuity. This covers 2 or more lives, payments stop when the first person dies.
Oh, okay. So it ends relatively early if one person passes away.
Can do. Which is why the joint and survivor annuity is often more popular for couples.
Joint and survivor. How's that different?
Payments continue until the last survivor dies. It provides income security for both individuals for as long as either one is alive.
That sounds much more practical for a couple.
It usually is, and you could often structure it so the survivor gets the full payment amount, or maybe a reduced amount, like 2/3 or 1/2 of the original payment. Offers flexibility.
Right, depending on the survivor's needs and the cost. Okay, we've really covered the types. Let's revisit some other characteristics. The accumulation period, what actually ends it?
Okay, 3 main triggers end the accumulation phase. 1, the owner dies. 2, annuitization begins. The payout starts. 3, the owner surrenders the contract.
Missing a payment doesn't automatically end it.
Not necessarily, especially with those flexible premium types. There might be grace periods or options.
Okay, and the annuity period, just to be crystal clear.
That's annuitization. It's the moment you effectively trade your accumulated cash value for that promise of regular income checks from the insurer. You give up lump sum access for the income stream.
Right, the point of no return for the lump sum in a way. And the parties involved again, quick.
Sure, insure the company. Contract owner funds it, holds rights. Annuitant receives payments. Life is measured. Beneficiary gets leftovers, if any.
Got it. Now, getting money out early. Surrender charges. Tell us about those.
Yeah, sometimes called back-end loads.
Hmm.
If you take out more than a certain allowed amount, often like 10% a year,
Yeah.
or surrender the whole thing too early, you can face these charges from the insurance company.
How long do they last?
They usually decrease over time, maybe over 7 or 10 years, eventually hitting 0. Importantly, these are separate from any IRS tax penalties for early withdrawal before 59 and a half.
Right, could be a double whammy company charge and IRS penalty.
Potentially, yes.
What about non-forfeiture values?
That's basically the cash value you are entitled to if you surrender. Even after any surrender charges are deducted, it's your accumulated funds minus the penalty.
Okay. Are there times you don't pay surrender charges even if you withdraw early?
Yes, typically there are waivers for certain events, death, disability, sometimes needing nursing home care or facing a terminal illness. The contract specifics matter here.
Right, important waivers for hardship. What's the most popular type of annuity these days?
Our sources point to the Flexible Premium Deferred Annuity, the FPDA. That flexibility in payments plus tax deferral makes it a go-to for retirement savings.
More so than older types.
Yeah, much more than things like the old annual premium retirement annuities, which often had high upfront sales charges or loads. FPDAs are generally more consumer-friendly in structure.
And just to quickly recap, SPIAs versus SPDAs.
SPIA, single premium immediate annuity, lump sum in, income starts right away. SPDA, single premium deferred annuity, lump sum in, income starts later.
And some SPDAs have a bailout feature.
Right. That allows you to surrender without charge if the renewal interest rate drops below a certain preset level.
Huh.
A bit of protection against falling rates.
Okay. And we mentioned fixed versus variable. Anything else to add there?
Just reinforcing, fixed means insurer takes risk, guaranteed return. Variable means you take risk. Return depends on underlying investments in those sub-accounts.
Got it. And those extra features, the riders, can we quickly list a few key ones?
Sure. You've got long-term care riders, help pay for care costs, guaranteed minimum withdrawal benefit, or GMWB.
GMWB.
Guarantees you can take out a certain percentage each year, even if your account value drops. Then guaranteed minimum income benefit, GMIB.
Okay.
That sets a floor on the income you'll get when you annuitize, regardless of market performance. And guaranteed minimum accumulation benefit, GMI, ensures your principal grows to at least a minimum amount over time.
So lots of ways to add guarantees or specific benefits, usually for an extra cost.
Exactly. They add layers of protection or potential upside.
Now, the market evolves. What about newer types of annuities mentioned in our sources?
Two main ones highlighted were equity indexed annuities, EIAs, and market value adjusted annuities, MVAs.
Equity indexed. What's the concept?
Okay, an EIA is technically a fixed annuity. Your principal is protected, and there's usually a minimum guaranteed interest rate.
So it's safe like a fixed annuity.
Fundamentally, yes.
Yeah.
But the equity index part means it also offers the potential to earn extra interest based on the performance of a market index, like the S&P 500.
How does that work without market risk?
You're not directly invested. The insurer uses options or other strategies. You typically get a portion of the index's gain, maybe up to a cap or based on a participation rate.
Yeah.
So you get some market upside potential without the downside risk to your principal.
Interesting. A hybrid approach. Safety plus some potential growth linked to the market. What about market value adjusted annuities, MVAs?
MVAs are usually single premium deferred annuities. They offer a fixed interest rate for a set guarantee period, maybe 3, 5, 7 years.
Okay.
The market value adjusted part comes in if you surrender before that guarantee period ends. Your cash value might be adjusted up or down based on where interest rates are then compared to when you bought it.
Like a bond's value changing with REITs.
Somewhat similar concept, yes. If rates have risen since you bought, your surrender value might be reduced, the MVA adjustment. If rates have fallen, it might be increased. Plus, you'd likely still face regular surrender charges.
Okay, so another layer of complexity, especially for early withdrawals. Now, stepping back, why do people use annuities? What are the main applications?
The number one reason, overwhelmingly, is retirement income. Creating that reliable paycheck in retirement, potentially for life.
That lifetime income guarantee again.
Exactly. They're also used within IRAs, both traditional and Roth. And even in non-qualified plans, where there's no upfront tax deduction, people use them for the tax deferral on growth and the payout options.
Any uses beyond retirement?
Yes, sometimes for education funding, though other vehicles might be more common now. Definitely used for structured settlements, like from lawsuits or lottery winnings where someone needs guaranteed payments over many years.
Structured settlements, right, and specific plans for certain employees.
Absolutely. Tax-sheltered annuities, TSAs, or 403(b) plans. These are for employees of nonprofits, schools, hospitals, religious organizations.
403(b)s, how do they work?
Contributions are typically pre-tax, reducing current taxable income. The money grows tax-deferred, and then withdrawals in retirement are taxed as ordinary income. Annuities are a common funding vehicle for these 403(b) plans.
And they can be used in other plans, too.
Yeah, annuities can be an investment option within pensions, or even 401(k) plans sometimes, alongside mutual funds and other choices.
So quite versatile. Given all this variety, fixed, variable, immediate, deferred, all the writers, how does someone know which, if any, is right for them? The suitability aspect.
Hugely important. Financial professionals have a strong obligation, ethically and legally, to recommend products that are suitable for the client's specific situation.
Not just selling whatever pays the highest commission.
Absolutely not. It requires digging deep into the client's circumstances.
What kinds of things do they need to consider?
A whole list. Age, income, overall financial picture, financial experience and sophistication, the client's objectives for the money, how long they plan to invest.
Time horizon.
Right. Also, their existing assets. Do they need access to liquid cash, their net worth, risk tolerance, that's a big one for variable annuities, and their tax situation. It's really a 360-degree view.
Sounds comprehensive. Any special rules for older clients? Seniors?
Yes, definitely. Regulators are particularly focused here. Many states have specific rules for recommendations to seniors, often defined as age 65 plus twins.
What kind of rules?
Things like needing to gather more detailed information, enhanced suitability reviews, making absolutely sure the product fits their needs, liquidity requirements, and long-term goals. It's about added protection.
Makes sense. These are complex, long-term commitments. Okay, let's wrap back around to taxes one last time. Give us the detailed breakdown.
Sure. So remember, qualified annuity contributions, like in a 401(k) or IRA, are usually pre-tax. Non-qualified contributions are after-tax.
Got it.
When you take income payments out, part of each payment is considered a return of your principal, and part is considered earnings.
And how is that split determined for tax purposes?
Using the exclusion ratio. Basically, it figures out what percentage of your total expected return is just your original investment coming back to you. That portion of each payment is excluded from taxes.
So you only pay tax on the earnings part of each payment.
Correct. The earnings portion is taxed as ordinary income in the year you receive it. The exclusion ratio spreads out that tax-free return of principal over the payment period.
Okay. Avoids paying tax again on money you already paid tax on for non-qualified, or returns the pre-tax amount systematically, qualified. What about taking money out early before 59 and a half?
Withdrawals before 59.5 from deferred annuities generally follow LIFO last in, first out for tax purposes.
LIFO.
Means the IRS considers the earnings to come out first. And those earnings are taxable as ordinary income. Plus, on top of the regular income tax, there's usually that 10% federal penalty tax on the earnings portion withdrawn early.
Ouch. Tax plus penalty. Any exceptions to the penalty?
Yes. Some key ones include death, disability, certain medical expenses, and taking payments as part of a series of substantially equal periodic payments, SEP.
Okay. What about when the owner dies? How are beneficiaries taxed?
If the owner dies during accumulation, the beneficiary gets the proceeds. Any gain above the original premiums paid is taxable income to the beneficiary.
All at
They usually have options. They can take a lump sum and pay the tax. Or, often if they choose within 60 days to take the payout over their life expectancy or over a fixed period, they can spread that tax liability out. The value is also generally included in the deceased's estate for potential estate taxes.
Right. And those 135 exchanges? Quick reminder.
Tax Code Section 10035 allows a tax-free exchange of one annuity for another annuity, or life insurance, or an endowment for an annuity.
But not the other way around. Annuity to life insurance.
Correct. That's generally a taxable event.
Yeah.
1 in 35 lets you switch between similar contracts without triggering immediate taxes on the gains. The cost basis and tax deferral just carry over.
Useful for updating contracts? Any quirks for corporate-owned annuities?
Yes. Generally, for the tax deferral on growth to apply, the annuitant needs to be a natural person, an individual. If a corporation or other non-natural entity owns it and is the annuitant, the annual earnings are typically taxed currently to the owner.
So corporations don't usually get the same tax deferral benefit unless an individual is the annuitant.
That's the general rule, with some exceptions for things like annuities funding certain employee benefit plans.
Okay. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground on annuities today. A real deep dive.
We certainly have. I mean, fundamentally, they're tools for creating income, especially for retirement. But as we've seen, they come in many, many flavors.
Yeah, fixed, variable, immediate, deferred,
Yep.
all those payout options, the riders.
And the crucial importance of suitability, making sure it actually fits your needs.
Absolutely. We've broken down those key differences and hopefully made the landscape a bit clearer.
So the big takeaway for you listening is to think about how this tool, with all its variations and rules, might or might not fit into your own financial picture.
Yeah, what questions does this raise for you about your own long-term financial security? That's really the next step, using this foundation to explore further.